Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So guys, check this out. From Ripple's official Twitter X account, crypto awareness and adoption are at an all-time high in the UK and across Europe. The UK has the highest rate of crypto holders in the region, with 19% of its population saying they hold crypto currently. Guys, this is big news. Ripple did repost this in their Insights blog, Web3 and crypto in France and Europe. So awareness of crypto assets is at an all-time high, with over 90% of French people saying they are aware of them, and nearly 1 in 2 saying they have plans to invest. So as you guys can see, over the years, crypto popularity has gone up. I feel like one of the pioneers. I mean, quite frankly, I've been in this space since 2017, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have been in it for quite a while as well. And nearly 1 in 2 say they have plans to invest. So across the European region, more broadly, the UK has the highest rate of crypto holders, with 19% of its population saying they hold crypto currently. This crypto report is from Aiden, Ipsos, and Deloitte, and it is sponsored by Ripple, or was sponsored by Ripple. So they were taking a look at the European market specifically. You guys can download more information if you do want to see it. I will link this in the description of the video. I think that is all good news, though. I mean, considering what we're seeing in the space, considering we have seen over the last few months, we've seen XRP really kind of come into its own. Now it's rebounding. As of the time of this recording, we're seeing one XRP trading for around $2 per coin, and the macroeconomic factors, they are starting to become more and more positive for, more specifically the crypto market, but overall markets as well. As of the time of this recording, the stock markets in the United States are not open yet, but we are seeing a rebound. Trump did, say that he was going to put a 90-day pause on tariffs for certain countries, and this definitely did give a bit of a spark in traditional markets. If you guys didn't catch the video I did this morning, I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner. I go into it a little more in this morning's video, but anyway, I'm interested to see more. I guess, Europeans being interested in cryptocurrency. I think the United States is still the number one country that is invested in cryptocurrency, and I think South Korea is actually very, very close behind. I think as a percentage of people to population. Anyway, wanted to move on, guys, because Crypto Addy here posting this. The appointment of a new CEO of Link2 was the result of a global search led by partners Mark Lonergan and Kirsten Settle. So this is the latest for Link2 investors. If you guys did invest in Link2 and are wondering about your investments, this is the latest update here. He and his team will reinvent future investing at Link2. So he is Dan Siciliano. Lonergan Partners is pleased to announce that Daniel Siciliano has been named President and Chief Executive Officer of Link2, a global investing platform enabling accredited investors to identify and invest in private companies and unicorns. This appointment was the result of a global search process by the partners Mark Lonergan and Kristen Settle. So that is the latest there. So guys, I guess if you have any questions, you have now a CEO to talk to over there at Link2. Anyway, there you have it. The most recent update in the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. Apparently, we are getting very, very, very close now. James K. Filan felt it necessary to drop an update yesterday. XRP community, SEC versus Ripple. Okay, the parties have filed a joint motion now to hold the appeal in abeyance based on the parties' agreements to settle. The settlement is awaiting commission for approval, so no brief will be filed on April the 16th. We were waiting for that brief to be filed on April the 16th, which is only, if you guys are watching this video on the day that I'm releasing it, only 5 days away. But now it's looking as though this is not going to happen anymore. It looks like, both parties are now in a joint motion to hold the appeal. So this is the latest with regards to the Ripple lawsuit. This tracks with what Stuart Alderoty said as well. This coming from Meta Lawman previously. This is what Stuart Alderoty previously reported publicly. Both sides are for the first time representing to the court that an agreement in principle has been reached. There is no reason to believe that there will be any problem getting commission to approve this deal. So it's looking fairly good too, I guess, from a time standpoint and just from a negotiation standpoint as well. Kenny Nguyen saying facts 100%. XRP Army News asking when. Darren Carlson saying, but Judge Torres still needs to make a ruling on her past ruling. The amount of time she spent makes me a little concerned. She will be hesitant to rescind her previous ruling. This needs to end so I can get my heart rate back in line. Please comfort my heart. Chad Peterson saying, when do we think this will officially be settled and over with? So is it over in 90 days? I guess we still don't have a verdict on that, but hopefully it should be very, very soon. And, we generally, what we do see is we generally do see a spike in XRP activity once we do get, some kind of a major ruling like this. At this point in the game, I feel like there's so many other macroeconomic factors that are affecting the crypto space that I don't even really know if this really will affect XRP price as much as, it may have affected it back in, like, let's say, for example, July of 2023, when we got that first verdict by Judge Torres. I think, it's just, at this point, it's just kind of fizzled out, and I don't know if it's that important anymore, to be honest. Nevertheless, we like to get the updates. So I wanted to thank Meta Lawman and James K. Filan for posting that, and Crypto Eddie, of course, for that first tweet. Ashley Prosper here, guys, also commenting on the SEC case. So at this very moment, I expect SEC commissioners are huddled behind closed doors voting on the terms of an agreement with Ripple that would see both sides drop their appeals. A successful vote means we should see withdrawals filed on the Second Circuit and a letter to Judge Torres asking her to overturn the injunction, if not tonight, then early tomorrow. So I guess, I don't know where this falls in line with the timeline here. Cherry Empress, does the SEC need Torres' permission to overturn the injunction first before they vote on the terms of agreement with Ripple? And again, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't speak to this so much. Random Shark here saying, hopefully when it happens, this news won't be overshadowed by market reaction to tariffs like the Hidden Road news was. So we're already feeling a bit of the burn when we're getting these Ripple announcements. And yeah, to some degree, it does feel like it did get overshadowed by the tariff news. But guys, this is how markets work. XRP is going to move based on the market factors in the moment. So regardless of if we get really good news, I guess, from the lawsuit, and this is, I guess, maybe why I also think it's not going to matter so much. There are so many other bigger macroeconomic factors that are going to help XRP move higher. And for more information on where I think the market's going to go, you can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. I'm opening up my portfolio to my Patreon subscribers, so exclusively only to my Patreon subscribers. This is where you can see my market moves, where I'm going to be trading, at what prices I'm going to be trading at, what coins I hold, because there's a lot of coins that I don't talk about on this channel as well. That's all at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. I also wanted to just take some time to let you guys know I do have a brand new Working Money Channel merch store where I'm offering 20% off this month. And I know I'm kind of upset. Nobody's buying the I Heart IRS t-shirt. I thought that was kind of a funny joke. Anyway, if you're in crypto, Link is in the description of the video if you guys are interested. Anyway, going to keep moving on with the next tweet here. Still regarding the SEC lawsuit. So Fred Rispoli did come out the other day talking about this, seeing some confusion out there. Remember, there are two jurisdictions at play. So the Southern District of New York, so that's Judge Torres, and number two, the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. Nothing can happen if one, modify order regarding the injunction until two is resolved by settlement or withdrawal. And so he did amend that tweet eventually, and a few hours later, we get the appellate filing that two has been resolved. So this is the updated information. Formally, it is not resolved until we see the notice of withdrawal, but today's filing publicly states the settlement is done pending commission approval. So guys, alas, this is where we are. This is where it stands. And I don't think we could have seen better timing. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has been making the rounds all over mainstream media. Okay, President Trump recognizes that economic security is national security. So this is what his official Twitter X account has tweeted out, has reported. We must reclaim control of the manufacturing, production, and supply chains of critical supplies and resources to finally put America first after decades of abuse. Here's a clip of Scott Bessent specifically discussing the tariffs on China. Listen to this.
The other thing that I would note is that a Spanish official said today that maybe Europe should look to China instead of the U.S. And I can tell you that is a losing proposition for the Europeans, because what is going to happen, and we've already seen it starting last week, that as we put up the tariff wall, China's business model is predicated on this incredibly imbalanced economy and exporting low-cost goods and subsidized goods to the rest of the world. And guess where they are going to land? On the European shores. So we should, our allies, part of our discussion as our allies come in and talk to us is, how do we get China to rebalance? That is the big win here. That the U.S. is trying to rebalance toward more manufacturing. China needs to rebalance towards more consumption. If at a point we can move to that, then we can move together. If they will acknowledge this fentanyl problem. So we have to have an end to these mercantilist policies. President Trump made that a priority,
That's right.
just as tax is a priority.
So that's really interesting, outlining where China needs to be, I guess, in terms of, this is his opinion on where China needs to be in order for their economy to run smoothly and not rely so much on the U.S. economy to subsidize other economies. So, Trump holds all the cards. I mean, it does, everybody's mad. There are a lot of people that are mad, non-Americans, okay? I'm not talking about American people. I guess maybe some Americans are upset. But there are a lot of people around the world that are upset. But, I kind of turn around and say Trump has all the cards. I mean, if your economy is predicated on the U.S. doing you favors, you kind of have a problem, right? You gotta really figure it out and make sure that you can be self-sustainable. Now, I know for some countries it's easier than others, but at the end of the day, be responsible for your own house. I mean, this is not a video about that, but so I'm not going to veer off to that topic, but at the end of the day, what America is doing is putting America first. And not only, I want to point this out, okay? Trump recognizes that economic security is national security. So it's also about security of the nation. The economy is playing a huge role in this. And so, this goes back to this idea of resetting the nation, a new Bretton Woods, perhaps. The other day, I talked about Howard Lutnick and how he was even talking about a reset. I don't know if you guys saw that video. I will link that up here in the top right-hand corner. Well, Scott Bessent, another video of Scott Bessent, he did say, in the next few years, we are going to have some kind of grand economic reordering, something equivalent to a new Bretton Woods. He says it in this clip. Okay, there's a very good chance that this happens in the next 4 years, and I'd like to be a part of it. Listen to this.
Economic historian and someone who's been in markets for 40 years, I actually think I'm starting to look like it now, is... I think we're also at a unique moment geopolitically, and I could see in the next few years that we are going to have some kind of a grand global economic reordering. There's something on the equivalent of a new Bretton Woods, or if you want to go back, like something back to the steel agreements or the Treaty of Versailles. There's a very good chance that we are going to have that over the next 4 years, and I'd like to be a part of it. I've studied this.
And Good Morning Crypto's prediction, which I think is very sensible. This will not only involve digital assets, but also leveraging US-based digital assets like XRP and HBAR. I tend to agree with this. I think, it's kind of obvious. The new financial system is going to be part of the reset. DLT technology, part of the reset. Stablecoins also. Government focusing on this first because they want to maintain US dollar dominance. So, all these cryptocurrencies that are going to play a big role, I think XRP, the ones that are going to be the lubricant for the mechanisms that transfer the value, i.e. the XRP ledger, well, those are going to be the coins that are going to be most important moving forward. Now, Scott Bessent, he was talking about the Bretton Woods, or the equivalent of a possible Bretton Woods type reset. Well, guys, this video here, okay, this was directly from the Bretton Woods 75 conference, okay, courtesy of Mr. Mann. Will digital currencies allow the opportunity for a reset? Now, this lady here was speaking rhetorically, but listen what she has to say.
Are digital currencies going to provide in any way, shape, or form the disruptive element that breaks a stalemate and perhaps starts a whole new conversation with maybe dirty motives all over again, but perhaps a chance to reset?
I think so. Again, from the Bretton Woods 75 conference, I don't really think it's a coincidence. I think Scott Bessent knows what is going to happen. I think a reset is being planned behind closed doors. I mean, Howard Lutnick did talk about it. Now Scott Bessent's talking about it. We're actually seeing interviews with people discussing this at the Bretton Woods 75 conference. So guys, a brand new reset underway. More evidence, mounting evidence to suggest it is possible. Of course, this means that major cryptocurrencies, the ones that have value, are really going to thrive in the coming years. When that's going to be, I don't know. I'm still going to be cashing out of a portion of my XRP. Not all of my XRP, a portion of my XRP during this bull run, because we're trying to nail the top of this market first. Some coins that you might hold that you think don't have any real world value, or maybe if they do have real world value, it really is going to depend on where where we are in this market cycle. So you can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel to give my opinion on that. By the way, my DMs are open over there at Patreon. So for all my Patreon subscribers, you have a direct line to me. I do answer everybody's questions. Also, I wanted to mention one more time, 20% off at the Working Money Channel merch store. Link is in the description of the video. Got brand new merchandise for everybody there. But that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.